Well, the war in Ukraine has intensified in the eastern part of the country, and CBS News senior foreign correspondent Charlie DAgata has been in Ukraine now for weeks. Perhaps you've been seeing his reports. He's been covering the fighting, and we're so happy that he's joining us live now to give us some on-the-ground perspective. Charlie, thank you so much for talking with us today.
My pleasure.
I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll tell our viewers that, but this war has been particularly dangerous for journalists. I know you have covered many wars. How has this one been different?
It's been different largely because we are dealing with Russia. You know, in the conflicts that I've covered in the past, you are dealing with an insurgency group. It's a different level of danger. You have the IED threats. You have ambush threats. You have, sort of unfriendlies within the regions that make it more difficult. In terms of covering this conflict, if you're outside the areas where the fighting is taking place, it's relatively safe. It is random and it's still dangerous. Here in Dnipro, you might even hear the air raid sirens going off. That doesn't necessarily mean that everybody runs to the shelter, but it does mean that there is a threat. Once you get along the front lines, however, it is dangerous in terms of what the Russians have, because it's difficult to mitigate the risks, because you're looking at mortar attacks, you're looking at artillery, you're looking at airstrikes. So you try not to put yourself in an area where it's going to be that hot for that long, but there's only so much you can do. So yes, as the military sometimes call it, it's a near peer adversary that you're dealing with, in that Russia has any number of weapons, and they have used any number of weapons to unleash upon, the civilian population, the military who we spend time with, and that puts us at risk ourselves.
Charlie, there's also, I know, the disinformation campaign that you're countering coming out of Russia, but I've been following your tweets, and it's so sad to see these little babies in some sort of a NICU. They can't be with their family. Those pictures are something maybe Americans can grab onto. As we're watching this, I think so many Americans feel helpless. What do you think they can do, if anything, to help?
Well, I think in terms of helping the Ukrainians, this is already happening at a very large scale. There's a $40 billion package that just went through the House and likely to go through the Senate in terms of arming the Ukrainians, in terms of helping them out in a humanitarian way. There are millions of people that are displaced. That sometimes goes unreported or underreported. There are a number of Ukrainians who have left. Obviously, some of them have gone to the United States. These are refugees who've gone to Poland, gone to other parts of Europe, gone to the United States, and people the world over have been very generous. But there are also, the majority of the people have just left their homes from areas east of here, and I think you can hear the air raid sirens now, where it was too dangerous for them to stay. So they're in other parts of Ukraine. So there are multiple organizations, aid agencies who are working here, the International Red Cross, the UN, UNICEF, UNHCR, for displaced persons, where Americans can help them out. And I also have to say, and this is really, really important, and again, I'm not sure if we get this through, the Ukrainians are so appreciative of the support from the West, primarily from the United States, not just from a military standpoint, but emotionally. When they see us show up and they see us report and they see us in the battlefield and trying to tell their stories, they're very appreciative that not only that we're there, I mean, that's our jobs, I'm not looking, for a badge there, but the fact that Americans and the West are interested and passionately interested in what's going on here, because they feel alone, they feel isolated, they feel the victims of this terrible attack and offensive that's gone on here.
Charlie, thank you so much for all of the reporting and for helping Americans understand. And we appreciate your time today. Charlie DAgata, senior correspondent, live in eastern Ukraine today. Thank you.
Thank you.